What's up, Declanators? Declan here today, and I'm with my cousin Samuel.
And I just finished watching Star Wars for my first time.
So we're going to talk about it right now on the drive home. First of all, did you actually like the movie?
It was actually one of my favourites.
Oh, really? Favourite movies ever?
Yeah, and a whole lot of other people I know have watched Star Wars and they thought it was really good, but I just never really got to watching Star Wars for myself.
Right, and so are you actually glad that we sat down and actually watched it?
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Oh, good.
What a wonderful way to spend your time.
Yeah, I reckon. And also, I think it's one of those movies where you can always remember your first time watching it. I can still remember where I was and what day it was when I first watched Star Wars A New Hope for the first time as well. And I can still remember everything about it and being just blown away.
Of course, I was completely blown away. It was probably exactly the same as you.
Yeah, I mean, because you're 11, right? So lots of people say that that's probably the best age to start watching Star Wars.
What I like are the fight scenes, because those are the scenes everybody can understand, and they always understand that, like, the blue lightsabers are the good lightsabers and the red lightsabers are the bad lightsabers. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, and did you also notice that all the villains, they all wear masks, and all the heroes, they don't wear masks? Did you have a favourite character?
Well, I think I always really liked R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, what did you like about them?
Well, R2-D2, a whole lot of people say the most sarcastic character in Star Wars because it's the way he beeps. People know what he's saying, and sometimes C-3PO translates it. It's exactly the type of person for sarcastic people. It's just whatever they say.
He's a good target for sarcastic people, I guess.
And he absolutely hates it, but the two together are such a funny pair.
Yeah. What was your favourite scene in the movie?
I have a couple. Like, my favourite battle scene was probably when they were rushing up the gullet in the X-Wings and the bad guys from above were trying to attack them. And in the end, Darth Vader himself came out and then, I don't know, got yeeted into space.
Yeah. I think my favourite scene is when they're sneaking around on the Death Star as well. I thought that was really clever. Like how they killed those two stormtroopers and stole their uniforms, and then they were sneaking around trying to figure out where the princess was.
And nobody even knew it was them.
Yeah, nobody knew it was them. But I just thought, I remember watching that for the first time and just going, wow, that's so cool. My favourite character overall in the whole of Star Wars is Darth Vader. But in this movie, in A New Hope, C-3PO and Han Solo, I think, are the two coolest characters. He's just a really lovable rogue kind of character, and he's not a typical hero, but he still does heroic things, and I think that's one of the reasons he's one of the cool characters in this movie.
And there's this phrase that's the perfect description for this guy. He lives life on the edge.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the first time I watched Star Wars as well, I really didn't get the concept of the Force and what it actually meant. Like, and I had my godmother sitting there and my dad as well, and I was like, what? I really don't get this. And they're like, no, it's just like a magical kind of thing. And I was even more confused after they tried to explain it. Did you feel like you understood what the Force actually was?
Well, ever since I was very little, it was just always when people talked about Star Wars, they were like, may the Force be with you.
Yeah.
It was just in libraries everywhere, and I just knew that the Force was, well, a force that, like, binded together everybody, and without the Force they would have lost, and it would have been a sad movie.
Yeah. Was there anything in the movie that really surprised you or you weren't expecting?
It was just how fast-paced it was, because a whole lot of the shots are really slow, everything's calming, you're on the desert planet, you're all okay. Suddenly, not even 15 minutes later, you're thrust into battle. Pew, 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 pew. Like, you won't get a shot longer than a second because it's designed to pump adrenaline. It's designed to make you really love this.
I agree. I will say though, I am not a fan of the X-Wing battle at the end. When I first watched it, I was like, oh my god, this movie's still going. Like, they escape from the Death Star and they defeat those TIE fighters, those little spaceships that went after them. And then they escape and the action goes down, and I thought that was the ending. But then it comes back up again and it goes for another 10 minutes or so. It just felt like an extra 10 minutes that were kind of unnecessary. Yeah. I always wonder if maybe they should have made it that Han and Luke used the Millennium Falcon to destroy the Death Star on their way out. I understand why it needed to happen, but I feel like they could have kept the intensity going the whole time. But one other part that really shocked me the first time I saw it was Obi-Wan Kenobi's death. I really wasn't expecting that to happen. But when we were watching it and Luke is saying goodbye to Obi-Wan, you were like, oh, does that mean he dies? So did you see it coming?
Yeah, because he was just... I knew in the fight that it was really unlikely and not really a good movie factor to happen that Obi-Wan would defeat Darth Vader, because you've got to have loss. If everything happens perfectly, it isn't a good movie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because you've got to have that bittersweet taste, but at the end, the feeling that you're still happy.
Also, what do you think is going to happen in the second movie? Do you have any guesses?
I reckon Darth Vader will make his way, I don't know, back to existence.
Yep. It's called The Empire Strikes Back.
So they could rebuild the Empire, because this is only the Death Star. I'm pretty sure they've still got their ship.
Yeah, well, they got heaps of ships.
Once Darth Vader makes his way back, he'll probably reign it even harder, because Darth Vader wasn't even that, I don't know, foreboding and dark before. He was just that sort of minister leader that was...
Yeah.
There wasn't even the da 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 da.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just talking.
Definitely in the next one, he's a lot scarier. So we'll have to figure out time to watch that one too.
And then we could do another car ride review.
Yeah, if you want us to do a car ride review for Empire Strikes Back, make sure you like the video. Also, one other thing, there's a lot of talk about who Luke's dad is as well. What do you think about that?
So, Luke's dad fought alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
I was thinking that Han Solo and Luke Skywalker looked so similar.
Right.
Like, they had the same type of hair, slightly different colours. I don't know, there were similar personalities, but Han Solo was a bit rougher. So what I'm thinking, that maybe some sort of relation of Han Solo, or even Han Solo himself, was his dad.
Damn. Okay, that's interesting. But what about Leia? Does she look like Luke?
Once again, same hair colour, same sort of face style. It's very weird how all these things, the three characters, they're just so similar.
Yeah,
And at this time, you don't really have a diverse character board.
Yeah, suspicious. That's another thing. Because this movie was made so long ago,
racism wasn't really observed.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of the characters are white. And in the later movies that are made in the modern times, you'll find that there's a lot more black characters and Asian characters and stuff like that. Just to be more inclusive, but that's a good point.
But I reckon it's still very good because of the cinematics quality I use, and I'm not even into sci-fi. I'm one of the biggest haters. I watch movies that aren't really that action-packed, but are more like really emotional and teach you a lesson.
Yeah, but you were still able to enjoy this movie.
Yes, it was still really good. I don't know how. It was just the feel and the love for all the characters and everything. It just grabbed my attention and held me on all the way till the end.
Overall, what would you give this movie out of 10?
Okay, so I'm gonna rate Star Wars: The New Hope 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.